So at this point, let me just describe what the program is going to consist of. We're going to have a short introduction by Jim Shelton, who I will introduce in just a minute. And then we're going to have a discussion, a longer discussion of the whole initiative, where we are and sort of what it entails by Chris Bachman. And I'll introduce her as well in just a minute. We'll also have a few words from one of the House candidates we have been supporting, Brian Farkas, who's from House District 9. Greenville, North Carolina is within his district in Pitt County, and that's a city, small city halfway between Raleigh and the coast. So just to sort of to set the scene on this, because this is a, very quickly, just sort of give you the landscape, we are supporting Chris Bachman's Our States Matter PAC for production. The money that's gone for production has been raised exclusively by 31st Street efforts to encourage people, members and other people, to donate money, and it's used exclusively in North Carolina, even though it's our states. It's not the only thing we do, and so there'll be a follow-up email if you want to find out more about 31st Street and you don't know about us. There'll be more information in a follow-up email about other things we're involved in. This is only one of our initiatives, and one of the other big ones, an initiative to raise funds for a Alaska Senate candidate, just got a big spread in the Washington Post. So for those of you that have already supported this initiative, I want to thank you. This is our way of thanking you, and for those that are new, we hope that we can give you a sense of how it's a great way to impact the voter behavior. So first, let me introduce Jim. As I mentioned, he'll be the introductory speaker, and he is a co-founder of 31st Street, which is one of those grassroots groups that just, you know, evolved sort of organically out of the angst after Trump's election. And one of the things that Jim provides that's really an essential ingredient that's very unique to 31st Street is a strategy. He has used his analytic skills that he never used as an epidemiologist, or didn't use in the same way as an epidemiologist, to identify sweet spot candidates. And that has been the signature, the real, you know, defining part of 31st Street. And he's going to talk a bit about the strategy that has been used to align this digital ad initiative with everything else that's going on in North Carolina that 31st Street has supported. So Jim, go ahead.
Okay, so hi, I'm Jim. I'm just going to say hello, and then I'm going to jump to a couple of slides. Let's see. Okay, can you see that? Seems
Yes.
like, okay.
Yes, you're fine.
So, sorry, wasn't better prepared for that. So just to remind, I think looks like almost everybody on the call is pretty familiar with what we do, so we don't need to belabor these things too much. But just to recall that, you know, we picked North Carolina early because of being a triple word score state and so forth. Started with voter registration almost a year ago with supporting primarily You Can Vote, and did some voter registration on the ground up until March. Then the big thing that we've done up till now has been direct legislature campaign support for strategically selected candidates. And that's changed over time as some of them graduated. That's been at this point about $810,000 for that, which has been a huge shot in the arm for these candidates. They're launched, we've done what we needed to do, and we've largely phased back from the direct legislature support. However, this last bar here is what we're talking about today, which is pound for pound, I think, better in terms of having impact than the legislature support, which is this video production and distribution that Chris Bachman undertakes for us, or with us. And that's what we're going to be talking about. So this is the current slate. We still have a current slate for actually, I think 3 Senate and 5 House candidates. We've had a total of 15. As I said, many of them graduated in the sense that they were doing well, raising money on their own. You have this point that money begets money. Once people start to raise money, other people take notice. And as of the June 30th filing of information, you could really see the effects of what we had done in terms of fundraising. With only 2 exceptions of those 15, we basically clobbered the Republicans in terms of direct funding for candidates. So as it happens, one of the people that graduated, and graduated quite early, is Brian Farkas, that we're going to hear from later on. But and the point is, we've continued to provide digital support to all these candidates because, first of all, they're good economies of scale for doing that, but also it's a good supplement to their own fundraising. And in many cases, they are also going to be doing, basically buying some of our services, as well as us providing to them in kind and so forth. So it's a really nice opportunistic relationship. So then what happened along the way is that Chris Bachman said, oh, well, by the way, there's also a number of statewide African-American candidates that we can support, and I'm able to do filming of them if I take an extra day. And so we said, okay, fine. So that's who these folks are. And I want to just take a moment to introduce each one of them, just so you'll get a sense of who they are. So we have Chief Justice Sherry Beasley, who's been a judge for over 20 years now. And she was appointed by Governor Cooper to be Chief Justice of the North Carolina Supreme Court. And as we all recognize, the Supreme Court in these states ends up being very, very important. So we're really lucky to have her. She's running now for an 8-year term. And by all accounts, she's a very able and respected jurist. The other judge that is also running statewide is Laura Cubbage. She's from Greensboro, excuse me. She was a district attorney there. She's currently a Superior Court judge, and now she's trying to move up to the next level. Her platform is integrity, fairness, competence, and respect for the bench. Then we have Jessica Holmes running for Labor Commissioner, and she is a labor attorney, but she's also on the County Commission in Wake County, which is where Raleigh is, so second largest county in the state. And she has a great record of community service, and her platform is workers' rights and fighting for fairness and social justice. Then last but not least is Yvonne Holly, running for Lieutenant Governor. She's been a state representative for about 8 years, and her issues are criminal justice reform, clean energy, and gun safety. And clearly her position is also very, very important, because if there's a tie in the state Senate, which could occur easily, even if there's a 50-50 split in Democrats and Republicans, or if there's some shifting, it's very important for her to be elected Lieutenant Governor. So the point is, these are some really great African-American women candidates in their own right, and we very much would like to support them, but also it's very helpful to have them strategically, because the African-American vote is very important in North Carolina, especially in Eastern North Carolina, where the turnout by African-Americans has not been all that great. Having these candidates on the ballot, and also having videos of them so that people can see them, will be very important to win the statewide elections for US Senate, Cal Cunningham, and of course, Joe Biden in North Carolina.